Hello dear students of +1 medical, non-medical and their respected teachers. So today I am going to discuss a very important topic known as errors. So errors in measurement. So when we measure physical quantities, our results of observations are different from the actual value of the quantity. So this difference is called error. So error means uncertainty in the measurement of a physical quantity. Measurements are uncertain. Sometimes result comes more than the actual value. Sometimes the result comes less than the actual value. So this uncertainty in the measurement of a physical quantity is called an error. So error means it's the difference between true value or best value, actual value minus the measured value. So difference between the actual value or true value and the measured value of the quantity is known as error. Errors are of many types. Number one, systematic error. So systematic errors are those errors which arise due to some definite pattern, due to some known cause, but they can be minimized. These are of further 5 types. Number one, instrumental error. This error depends upon the quality of the instrument, graduation of the scale of the instrument. So, those errors which arise due to design of the instrument, manufacturing of the instrument, and calibration of the scale of the instrument. So, such errors are known as instrumental errors. They can also be minimized by using instruments of good quality and applying zero correction when needed. Next is least count errors. So such errors arise due to definite value of the least count of the instrument. Now what is least count? Least count is the minimum reading that can be taken with the instrument. For example, least count of this meter scale is 1 mm or 0.1 centimeter. Least count of vernier caliper is 0.1 mm or 0.01 centimeter. Least count of screw gauge and spirometer is 0.01 mm or 0.001 centimeter. So different instruments have different values of least counts. More the value of least count, more will be the least count error. So such errors can be minimized by using an instrument having least value of least count. So use the instrument which has least value of the least count. So to minimize this least count error. Third is errors due to imperfect techniques or procedures. So such errors which arise due to imperfect techniques or procedures, which can also be minimized by controlling the internal conditions of the laboratory, by giving proper training to the students, and by using advanced techniques to perform experiments. Fourth is personal error, which varies from person to person due to some defects in the eye or due to carelessness or due to improper training to the observer. So such errors are known as personal errors. Sometimes due to parallax, such errors arise. So they can also be avoided. They can also be minimized by using proper training to the students, by taking all observations very carefully and sincerely. So we can avoid personal errors also. Fifth is external conditions, because most of the physical quantities depend upon external conditions like pressure, temperature, humidity, wind velocity. So these physical quantities vary when these external conditions vary. So such errors are known as errors due to external conditions. They can be minimized by controlling the external conditions. For example, to control temperature, we can use AC. To control pressure, we can use vacuum pump. So such errors can also be avoided. So we can minimize all these errors by using apparatus of good quality, instrument having least value of least count, by giving proper training to the students, and by performing the experiment carefully, and by controlling the external conditions of the laboratory. Then number 2, after systematic errors, which are of 5 types further, we have random errors. So random errors are those errors which occur randomly with respect to size and sign. For example, when we measure the value of g, which is 9.8 meter per second square acceleration due to gravity, sometimes its value comes out to be 9.9, sometimes it comes out 9.4, maybe 9.7. So such errors which occur randomly with respect to size and sign, means positive or negative, or with huge difference or small difference. Now, how these errors can be minimized? These errors can be minimized by taking number of observations for a given measurement and then finding their arithmetic mean. Suppose A1, A2, A3 and so on, An be the n observations taken for a physical quantity. Then Am is given by A1 plus A2 plus so on plus An upon n. This is known as mean value or best value or true value of the physical quantity A. So to minimize random errors which may be due to any of these errors, we can take number of observations and then we find their arithmetic mean, and that arithmetic mean will give you the best value or true value of the quantity. Then next is gross errors. So gross errors are also occur by some mistake. We do some mistakes while performing experiments. We do some mistakes while doing calculations. So such errors can also be minimized or avoided by giving proper training to the students, by performing the experiments with carefully and solve the equations carefully. Then absolute error. So the best value that we calculate by taking arithmetic mean of all the n individual observations. This best value is different from each individual observation. The difference in mean value and individual value is known as absolute error in that individual value. That is, absolute error is the deviation of any individual measurement from the best value. So, absolute error in A1 taken as delta A1 is given by delta A1 is equal to A mean minus A1. Similarly, delta A2, A mean minus A2 and so on. Delta An is equal to A mean minus An. And if we take arithmetic mean of all the absolute errors, so it gives mean absolute error. Delta A mean is equal to delta A1 plus delta A2 plus so on plus delta n upon n. So mean absolute error is the arithmetic mean of all the individual absolute errors. Then relative error. Relative error is defined as the ratio of mean absolute error to the mean value. This is noted by delta R. Then percentage error is equal to relative error into 100. In general, percentage error is given by difference over actual into 100. Difference means difference between the actual value and the best value or measured value over actual value into 100. For example, value of G is 9.8 meter per second square, and the difference between measured value and best value comes out to be 0.2. So it will be 0.2 over 9.8 into 100. That will give you percentage error. So plus minus 5% error is allowed in experiments while performing in the lab. Then we have to find combination of errors. When we have to solve some questions and we have to make different measurements, then we have to add the values or subtract the values or multiply the values or divide the values. So first of all, suppose if x is equal to a plus b, that is a quantity x is the sum of two quantities a and b. So x equal to a plus b. Let delta a is the absolute error in the measurement of a, delta b is the absolute error in the measurement of b. Then corresponding absolute error in x is given by x plus minus delta x. Instead of a we write a plus minus delta a. Instead of b we write b plus minus delta b. And x plus minus delta x. So a plus b plus minus delta a plus delta b. Because x is equal to a plus b, it cancels. Leaving plus minus sign, we have delta x equal to delta a plus delta b. Equation number 1. So it means this is the maximum possible absolute error in the measurement of x when x is equal to sum of the two individual quantities. So it means absolute error in x is equal to sum of the absolute errors in individual measurements, that is delta a and delta b. Similarly, we can prove if x is equal to a minus b, then delta x will again be delta a plus delta b. It means if x is equal to sum of two physical quantities or x is equal to sum difference of two, then absolute error in x is always equal to sum of the individual absolute errors. It means errors are always added. Note this point. Errors are always added. If x is equal to a into b, product of 2, then x plus minus delta x will be equal to a plus minus delta a into b plus minus delta b. Here delta x, delta a, delta b are the absolute errors in x, a and b respectively. Take x common, it will be 1 plus minus delta x upon x. A common 1 plus minus delta a upon a. B common 1 plus minus delta b upon b. This a into b is cancelled with x because x equal to ab. So 1 plus minus delta x upon x equal to 1 plus minus delta a upon a. 1 plus minus delta b upon b plus minus delta a delta b upon a. 1 cancels again. No, this delta b upon ab is nearly 0, negligible, because delta a is very small as compared to a. Delta b is very small as compared to b. When two small quantities are multiplied, again we get small value. Or when two small quantities are divided by the product of two large quantities, so this means this term is negligibly small, so we can neglect. So leaving plus minus sign, we have delta x upon x is equal to delta a upon a plus delta b upon. It means when a physical quantity is equal to the product of the two, then relative error in x is equal to sum of the relative errors in a and b. Similarly, we can prove if x equal to a upon b. The same way, delta x upon x will come out to be delta a upon a plus delta b upon a. It means it is very clear from these four questions that errors are always added. Errors are never subtracted. So errors are always added. So in general, if x is equal to a power n, for example, if x is equal to a square, So it will be A into A. By x equal to A into B, it will be A into A. That is delta A upon A plus delta A upon A, that is 2 delta upon A. So if x is equal to A power n, then delta upon x will be equal to n delta A upon E. It means relative error is n times the relative error in A. Relative error in x is equal to n times the relative error in A. So more is the power of a quantity, more is the error. So this is all about errors in measurements. So इस तरह की वीडियोस ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਜੇ ਪਸੰਦ ਆਉਂਦੀਆਂ ਤਾਂ ਪਲੀਜ਼ ਮੇਰਾ ਚੈਨਲ ਸਬਸਕ੍ਰਾਈਬ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਕਰੋ। ਫ੍ਰੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਘਰ ਬੈਠੇ ਸਾਰੀ ਫਿਜ਼ਿਕਸ ਨੂੰ ਤਸੱਲੀ ਨਾਲ ਪੜ੍ਹੋ ਅਤੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਵਧੀਆ ਮਾਰਕਸ ਲਓ ਔਰ ਫਿਜ਼ਿਕਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਮਾਸਟਰੀ ਕਰੋ। ਸੋ ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ, all the best, be happy and good luck.